Hello and welcome back to Lamatique. I've got a couple junk journal flip throughs for you today. Um, these are some like Crayola crayon themed ones. I seen how everybody was taking the little box of crayons and making little crayon journals, but I really didn't want to make a journal that tiny. I don't really like making the tiny journals as much. And I had collected this crayon fabric, the white and the black. So I wanted to do some big ones and use this fabric. So I made two. They're somewhat similar. A lot of the papers are different in that. And of course they're reversed. So I'll show you the black one first. Okay, its dangle is on this keychain. Like the loop is attached to the binder clip. That just helps it lay flatter on the journal, because if you tried to hook this to this, it would be sticking up. So what I have here is hold on one second, let me show you. So this little cardboard cutout, and it is a nice thick cardboard cutout, is from this Crayola playset. This is vintage 1986. And it was part of a Crayola little play set, and it had some markers, or I think it was no, it had some crayons in the box. So I used one of them for the tassel or keychain. I thought that was a neat idea, and it is really nice and thick and heavy. And then I also took a little tiny mini brands, and this one has got the Crayola watercolor palette. So that is the dangle for this one, and that is on its own little lobster claw, so you could take that off and dangle it somewhere else. And then this can actually be like colored with crayons and wiped off, but it's from 1986, so it is a vintage piece. The closure is just a button with some elastic, and I just used the green and yellow because it matched the crayon box. So like I said, this one has the black fabric mainly, and then I put some of the white fabric on the spine, so it's got that extra protection on the spine. You know, it's extra durable on the spine. The materials are lapped over each other, so it is double material on the spine. I put some metal book corners. There's a little label here on top of the front of the crayon box that I sewed down to the cover. And then the back is just left plain. The material was so pretty, I really didn't want to cover a lot of it. In the front here, there is a pocket, and it's just got a bunch of mostly little die-cut shapes in there for to use in the book. There are some these are actually post-it notes up here in the corner, some red ones. I thought that was just cute and went with the colors. This is a crayon die cut out of some construction paper, so I just thought that was cute, and I put the black one in the front because this is the one with the black material. This is scrapbook paper. Here are some stickers and little coloring pages from a small Crayola coloring little activity book. So I thought that was cute, so I put a page of the stickers in there and a couple of the coloring sheets. This is some nice thick like computer stationery is kind of what I've heard it referred to. This I think was more like for awards or that. It's a bit thicker. It's some really nice paper. This is from a Crayola like shading book where it taught you like how to shade in that, and this is one of the pictures out of it. And I just thought that was neat. It has a very different, like it's really thick and a nice texture to it. Like a really nice sketchbook feel. Some Astro Brights. I used a bunch of like the Crayola colors, and I really wanted to play up on the crayons, so it's not really like school, it's really just crayon themed. So the Astrobites 24 pound. This page here is from a little, hold on and I'll grab it. So yeah, this white paper is from this. I don't know how old it is or where it came from. If it came from the dollar store, or I just had it, or maybe it was from my daughter when she was little and she didn't use it. I really just don't remember. But it was just white paper. It says marker and watercolor pad. So I thought that was neat because it's actual, you know, Crayola paper. And it is like a really soft, weird, it's like thick but thin at the same time. It's a little bit different feel than most paper. Here is some hand-dyed paper I did with a stencil. This is at least from the 90s when Crayola Magic, like closer to when Crayola Magic first came out, you would buy a set of Crayola Magic and it had some of these little cards in there. I've had them since then in my crafting stuff, so I thought that was really neat to put in here. Like I said, I think this is from the 90s, because I've had it a long time. Oh, more scrapbook paper. This one's got a little bit of gold splash. Just a red gift tag. This paint chip, I picked a darker one, but this is actually a Crayola color, so I thought that was cute and kind of neat to stick in there. These are some index cards, but they are like in the Crayola colors. I just got these recently. I thought that was really neat that they really are like almost, the blue is not quite the Crayola color, but I really like those, so I shared one of each color in here. Just an orange paint chip, a couple sheets of this little note paper, 3 sheets I believe, 3 sheets of this Days of the Week, the little orange sheets. I kept wondering where these went. I took them out of the other book because I couldn't find them. I'll have to get them back and put them back in the other book when we get there. A sheet of black paper. This is from like a small black, and it's made for like gel pen. These are actually some note pages that go this way, but they were neat and got the coloring strip at the bottom, so I thought that was perfect to put in here. Give me 1 second. I'm going to put this all back in here and get the orange paper for the other one. Okay, I put them all in. I've got the 2 little sheets for the other book. I'm just going to set those off to the side till we get there. Then here, there is more of that computer-like stationery. It's more like a ward paper, like I said, I believe. It said a ward paper. It is thicker, and I love how the border goes all the way around. And it was like those, you know, green shades. Kind of Crayola-y. Or crayons. Reminds me of like coloring with crayons when you used to make the specs. This is from another Crayola. This is a Crayola activity book. So I tried to stick really with the crayons, Crayola theme heavily. This is blue Astrobites, and that is like that crayon blue. More of that marker watercolor pad. Hand-dyed paper. This here is a Crayola flashcard. So I thought that was really neat to put in there. And then that's just like, you could use it as a photo mat or that. It's just a nice piece of cardstock with rounded corners. Stationery, scrapbook paper. I really like how these came out. I love how the colors flow. Some tags cut from the papers used in this book. More of that computer stationery in a different color. This has got the purples and the blues, which is in the purple and blue section, because if you kind of noticed, it goes from like the red and the yellow and the orange to like the green and the blue to like the purple and blue. So I thought that was kind of neat that the papers actually ended up kind of coinciding and matching and going along with it. This is from a different Crayola coloring set that came with markers and that, and they were just pages. And this is really nice and thick too, because it was intended for you to color with markers, with the Crayola markers. This is actually a piece of, I believe it is gel paper. I believe it's vintage. It was a ream of gel paper I had found at a thrift store. More of that Crayola paper. More hand dyed with the stencils. I use these stencils because it kind of remind me of those kitty stencils and that, you know, that you would use to color with and draw with when you were a kid. So I thought that was kind of neat. In the center here, there is a coloring page from last year's 2025 retired release. So this is a page from that retired coloring book. Well, the coloring book based on the retired crayons coming back last year, when they brought back the colors like Dandelion and Blizzard. So now we're back onto the other side. This is actually like a card. I thought that was cute because it was reminiscent of when you were like a kid coloring in a coloring book. A piece of this paper, just because it was the, you know, those normal Crayola colors, the red and the blue. Well, crayon colors. And then some little pieces of note paper with the purple, because this was towards the purple section. So I thought that was cute. Then I had wrapped him around the page. And then it had a little die cut that I used. I'm going to take everything out from the other side. That's the paper that I used in the front cover. A bunch of those are cut from that. So on the other side, I just had a little cut apart that said yay. And another little tab. Well, little die cut. The other side of the dyed paper. And each one of these sheets with the stencil on it is a different stencil. So it's not the same repeating stencil. They are actually different stencils. So I thought that was neat. The other side of the Crayola activity book. Here I cut some die cuts from some of the papers used in the book. And I put them in this little package so you could use them throughout the book. And I got these newer die cuts. This was really neat, I thought. Like, it has the ripped edge. And then there's these pieces like this, which I thought was really neat because it's like a ripped piece of note paper. I like the shape. The paper I used was just offcuts from the papers I used in this book. But I thought those were neat. And then I also included a couple of these little frame pieces. And then just a bunch of... There's a couple of these little clippy-doos. It looks like a little binder clip or that. And then just some regular little die cuts. But there are a few pieces of those pieces that look like papers cut. And then some tags and that. Just to give you some options to play with. But it is cut from the papers that I used in the book. So they all kind of match and coincide. I'm doing that backwards. Correspond was the word I was looking for. So they'll correspond to each other. Then in the back here, I have some pieces to create with. So there's one of these. This might be Happy Planner or something. One of those planner ones. I always forget the name. I only have this one little pad. And then these were some die cuts I had made. This is the paper I used for like the pockets in this book. I like this one. It looks a lot like, you know, the crayon colors. This was a digital my fiance had made for me. So I cut one of those pages out of it too. And then, or you can use them as photo mats or make your own little journaling cards or like to create on. I thought it was just nice to give you things to create in this journal because it's a crayon journal. To me, it was like you would want to create your own things. So photo mats or that. And then a piece of scrapbook paper from a small pad. I cut a little bit off so it would fit in the pocket. So yeah, just a lot of things to create with in that pocket. And that's why I put all the die cuts over there. So you've got stuff to create with. And then other things scattered throughout the book as well. I'm actually so excited to start creating with those ones. A die cut out of that bigger, and this is really thick, and it's a professional print. So that's really nice, I thought. And then just a little cut apart, says Cool Cat. Just those bright crayon Crayola-ish colors. Dyed paper. The other side of that shading coloring page. A little greeting card. Inside there's a little recipe card and a little rainbow cutout. Just because it had the rainbowish, well, rainbow-ish colors. The crayons are kind of like rainbow colors, so I just put a little nod in there to the rainbow colors. Another one of those Crayola flashcards. I love these. These are so cute. The other side of the crayon die cut. And then in the back here, I have a cardboard stencil of like a sun. This is the little girl card. And then this is half a sheet of the stickers from the Crayola activity pages with the full color pages. So I thought that would be nice to put in here. So yeah, there's a lot of things that are actually Crayola brand in here to use from. Otherwise, it's just crayons and the crayon, the bright crayon colors. Okay, give me 1 second and I'll put this away and get the next one. Okay, so here I have the white one. This one has the box of crayons from the mini brands and the cow from the little punch outs. And this one has silver hardware to match the silver book corners. This one has a square button and that tag is different. And of course the colors are reversed. Here's the white fabric with the black spine. And there is the back. Yeah, I'd want to do the crayon journals for a long time, but I don't want to do the same thing as everyone else. And I really, like I said, it's not my favorite thing to do the little tiny ones. Here's all the die cuts again in the front, just some random ones in the Crayola crayon colors. I don't know, I used to always call them Crayola colors as a kid. I don't know if that's common or it's just like a local thing. That's why I keep saying Crayola colors, but it is like Crayola themed, although like the fabric is not Crayola per se. It's just crayons, and then the background is just crayons, but... So this one has the white crayon because the white cover. A page of stickers and 2 coloring sheets. And I don't know if I said this before, but I made sure like the sticker page corresponded with the coloring sheets. Like there's the little lobster with the house, and then it's like the puppy seal, and there's the puppy seal sticker. So I did make sure like there was stickers of the coloring page you were getting on the sticker sheet you got. The computer paper again. This one I just used because it's got like all the original colors. Here is the sketch shading coloring Crayola book page. That is so thick. The paper is like really thick. Whoops. The red, that Crayola paper, hand-dyed paper. I love this paper. When I saw this one, it said crayons to me. Like I was like, that is perfect. Here is the Crayola Model Magic card for this one. And then these two papers will be different with the coloring at the bottom. And this one will have this robot little note paper. Those are the same. You get the white Crayola chip in this one, and then a green paint chip. Otherwise, like that's the same. Those are the same. And this one is the same, I believe, in the little black paper. A different page from that Crayola activity book. Yeah, I could have filled it with a bunch of coloring and Crayola pages, but I thought that would be like maybe a little too much. Hand-dyed. Got the robot flashcard in this one. Then that's just another piece of that cardstock with the rounded edges. Tags, die cut from the papers used in the book. The scrapbook papers used in the book. This is your page from the marker coloring one. This is purple gel paper. Stencils again. And then here's your center for this one. Colors are having a party. Go through this one a little bit faster. Just because some of the things are the same. The coloring pages are different. The dyed papers cannot be exactly the same. This is the same here, except for here is the little girl die cut. It's got a little yay here, cut apart. I like that coloring page. So you will get the die cuts again in here too, cut out of the colors used in this book. There may not be the exactly same cuts, but there's the same amount. This one, so that paper is a little different, and then these are different here. So this one is another digital my fiance made for me, and then it's cut on the professional paper. Printed on the professional paper. I cut it with a die cut. And then I think those two are the same, if not similar. And then that little paper is different. This one is different. This one has the polka dots. So yeah, very similar die cuts. They're just in the colors that I used in this book. The die cut out of the white. I used the white in this one, of course, because this one has the white cover. Little hooray. All the stenciling pages in this one are different again, too. I like the ladybug on the bottom of that one against the red is neat, and the strawberry on the other side. Just a blank little greeting card again. They do come with the envelope, as always. I like this one because then you could kind of create anyways, but it had that nice crayon colored border. Another flashcard. That one's the quilt. The other side of the crayon. Stencil, the little boy, and the other half of the sticker sheet. And that's all tucked in the back pocket. So yeah, oh, you know what? I gotta go back and put those little orange sheets in there. And then we're good. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed watching. I hope you like my take on the little Crayola journals. Like I said, I wanted to do something a little different. Mine is really more like crayon coloring Crayola. And the regular, like the regular size I usually make, which is, I think it's like 8.5 by like 5.5. But, tell me what you thought. Like, subscribe, all the good things. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. And I hope you come back and watch next week. Have a great rest of your week. Thank you. Bye-bye.